Well, good afternoon and welcome to today's New School Counselor Bootcamp. We are here to talk all about career and college planning from the role of the school counselor. My name is Britannia Mori. I am with ICANN and I'm joined today by my colleague Carrie Talbot and Danielle Sampson from the Iowa Department of Education's Bureau of Iowa College Aid. We are going to actually kick things off today with Danielle. So I'm going to give her control of the PowerPoint and she's going to talk about some of the programs that can be helpful through her department.
Welcome, everyone. And if I saw you earlier today, it's good to see you again. We are going to go ahead and kick off, and please feel free to pop in any questions that you might have. But we are going to talk about our Course to College overview program and just discuss some different opportunities that we have available for you. So options for individual program development and goals and how we can help you is a lot of dealing with the College and Career Readiness Academy courses, our Course to College overview program, and then the Virtual College Coach, which is also capable of providing you the counselor texting campaign. So the Bureau of Iowa College Aid, who we are, what we do, who you might see in the process of meeting with us. So we are a part of a division in the Iowa Department of Education. We are managed by a commission staff that developed our mission, motto, and vision. So just in an overview of all of that, we believe that all persons in the state of Iowa can achieve post-secondary education beyond high school, recognizing that that can look a lot of different ways. And our motto and philosophy is that college is anything that builds skill and development and provides an opportunity for a career, meaningful career after high school. So that can be a lot of different routes that students may be able to take. The different programs that we have available within our community engagement team is LCANs, which are local access or local college and career access networks. So these are grant funded programs that work within communities to help build college and career readiness for their students and hopefully provide an increase in college attainment after graduation. Iowa College and Career Readiness Academies are a program that allows for just about anybody within your school district to be able to take courses that will help build and grow their understanding of college and career readiness. There are multiple classes available through that program, even classes that will help develop a college and career readiness understanding and develop a program for K through 5 as well as 6 through 8, not just focusing on that high school level. And it assists you as a new counselor to better understand the process in which we are wanting all Iowa schools to take in supporting students in their growth to college and career readiness. We have the Course to College program, which many of you were probably a part of earlier today or are planning on joining our meeting tomorrow. But we do offer weekly calls and support in helping you implement the 5 steps to the college going process. Also, provide you data in FAFSA completion and publications that might assist you in building that program within your school. Many of you are probably familiar with, or many of you may have been working within a Gear Up Iowa school as well. We have 13 schools that are currently being served, and they're serving seniors. We also have 11 new schools or 11 schools that are serving 8th grade students this year in helping boost that low income or underrepresented student population in understanding and building a comprehensive support system to go to college. We also offer a coaching program, which is supporting students and families in being able to get support and assistance virtually or on campuses in that college going process, specifically focused on application completion, FAFSA completion, and just building that understanding of what it takes to be able to step foot on that campus. Some of our coaching also takes place post-secondary and really focuses on that last dollar scholarship grouping of students to help make sure that not only do they attend college, but they complete. All right, our College and Career Readiness Academy, this is something that we already briefly talked about, but it is a way to broaden your understanding of college and career readiness in the state of Iowa and what our belief and focus is on that pathway. Here are the courses that are available to take. And as I said, there are some courses that are very specific to high school. There are some courses very specific to elementary. So understanding and looking through that program opportunity or reaching out to us and asking for a list of how to register and what is available. You'll see that 701 is one of the fairly new ones, College and Career Readiness for K-5 school counselors and educators. So while a lot of you are probably sitting here in that high school position, know that there are opportunities for you to be able to build that culture throughout the K-12 system, and providing these resources might help you or help them get a better understanding of college and career readiness. When going through that, there are certificates and badges that come with a certain level of understanding in each of those areas. Right now, throughout the state, we have 22 specialists and 47 professionals that have completed those certificates and achieved those badges. Some of you may receive emails from people that you may see those badges at the bottom of their email. Others, you may see these certificates in their offices. So know that these are people that have completed a number of the courses available, or maybe all of the courses available, to be able to have a great all-encompassing understanding of that college and career readiness in the state of Iowa. Fairly easy to be able to navigate through these courses. All courses are free if you choose to take them that way, but there is an option for you to pay to get continuing education credit, or also pay a little bit more to get graduate credit. Best way to find more information about this program is offered by Megan Sybil. She is a member of our community engagement team at the Bureau of Iowa College Aid. Information about it is also listed there in that website down below. And once I'm done navigating through here, I can go ahead and share those, especially the website, to you in the chat. Virtual College Coach and Counselor Texting Campaign is the next thing we'll discuss today. The Virtual College Coach Texting Program is offered to you by Liz Yedoff, and students can connect with college coaches via text for help navigating the college going process. This is one-on-one support, so it is a real person that they are texting and receiving messages back from. The messages are created by a real person. There is no AI generation trying to navigate that conversation with these students. So it is helpful for those students to be able to ask specific questions that are related to their needs and be able to get an answer that is supportive from a real person. Know also that these responses are either coming from Liz Yedoff or one of our college coaches that is with our program through the AmeriCorps program. So it's a great resource for our students. We also decided over the last couple of years that it would be a good idea for us to be able to offer a counselor campaign that is a virtual college coach program as well. And the effort for this is for counselors to opt in and receive counseling specific tips, reminders, and information about just different college going steps that might be coming up that they might want to know about. So we'll talk, or if you are a part of this, you'll receive text messages about college applications that might be coming due, FAFSA deadlines for priority dates, scholarship alerts that might be useful for students, course to college call reminders, and event information. You can also ask questions regarding any part of the college going process through this texting campaign, and Liz will either respond to you or she will defer those questions to me, and I'll be able to reach you as well. Here's a QR code for the students or counselors and parents to be able to sign up. In this QR code, you can scan it and then it will go direct, or it will ask you which avenue you want to register. Many of you also, if you filled out our request for publications through the Bureau of Iowa College Aid Course to College, you will have also been asked if you want to receive these as printed materials. And so those will be coming your way once they are printed and dispersed. So know that you'll have that QR code available for students as well. We do have a PDF version of this as well if you need that to hang up in any of your schools. Course to College program, we'll talk real briefly about this, but if you were a part of this earlier, you'll kind of know the different things that we're going to talk about. The purpose of this is to provide support for school counselors, CCTCs, and other staff that provide instruction and guidance to students surrounding the college going process. We've really encouraged you to consider the fact that some of your instructional coaches or some of your lead teachers might find this information to be beneficial, and having other teachers within your school district helping support that college going process within the classroom is very helpful for counselors as well. So having more people get this information instead of just one in your school is nice. We will provide resources and swag to encourage students and parents' participation in activities that are available to them, and virtual and in-person support when requested for the events or questions that might happen. So you'll see that the things that were listed on one of the previous pages when we talked about community engagement is all listed here in our funnel format, but we do believe following those 5 steps ends up to filter in more access, success, and program completion from students within the state of Iowa. So the expectations of the program, if you are a part of the program, these are some things that we hope are a priority for you as a counselor, as a school, and as others that are engaged in this. So as schools, we encourage schools to host 3 events, and those can happen in conjunction with us and with ICANN to help support this process. We want to see as many schools as possible offering some type of application event that helps support students in their application process. FAFSA completion events that help with that step of completing the FAFSA, whether it be assisting students in creating their student aid ID account, or parents completing that, or just completing the FAFSA itself. And then encouraging you to host a decision day event. Also, we help support in that DCAP and ICAP implementation, and understanding that a lot of the things that we encourage throughout our goals and throughout our program help answer some of those DCAP and ICAP needs. Statewide recognition through Department of Education on school-based programs. We also want counselors and CCTCs to have the resources and toolkits for these types of events, so we try to provide those. We encourage you to attend weekly calls or bi-weekly calls to statewide with statewide collaboration. We provide you incentives to provide for students to help them encourage them to complete the 5 steps. We offer free publications. AmeriCorps opportunities for your students is a really big one as well. We have quite a few of them across the state. And we are trying to offer boot camps to integrate new counselors and CCTCs into the terminology and just the whole all-around encompassing information that is needed to implement this type of program within your school system. For others that you might be bringing into a Course to College program, we encourage development of content for use in the middle and elementary schools and college and career readiness in those areas. We like to see work-based learning supports through the state resources and apprenticeship collaborations, so we try to bring some more information to you about that. And then access to resources such as Latinos Can to support diverse populations, and we're trying to build that even more as well, having a much higher need in the state of Iowa than what we've had in the past. Course to College supports events. So the main event, we support you in application day or week events, your FAFSA completion events, and decision day events in multiple ways. Other events that we encourage and help you in the process of implementing our Why Apply Day events. junior match day events, your FSA ID or studentaid.gov creation events, and then encouragement of essay writing and scholarship completion events or activities, and financial aid review events. So new things offering this year, we do have the free publications. That's not new, but we are offering them again this year. We are offering swag incentives to be handed out to students this year that should be coming out here. We are ordering them next week. So we are asking for orders and registrations for those here this week. We offer weekly FAFSA completion reports starting in about February. Weekly calls that provide ideas, resources, and supports for these events. ICANN collaboration on events and ICANN event funding. So we do help support that if you are a member of our Course to College programming. Representatives from the Bureau of Iowa College Aid to serve or document your event. We try to get people out there, such as our photographers and our videographers, to get information and status on your events. We offer slide decks for use at the decision day and also help or request them back for our statewide events to just celebrate you and your students. And then we are offering awards and certificates for successful school districts that can complete their FAFSAs. For more information, this is my email address. Please feel free to email me if you are not currently a member of our Course to College program and are looking to be a part of it, or wanting more information or have questions about the things that we talked about today. I'm really widely available, but very interested in talking to you and helping support your process through this program. Any questions from anyone? Thank you. If you have questions, drop them in the chat. I'll be here.
I think your FAFSA report stuff is
Oh,
next.
yes. Oh, thanks. All right. Sorry about that. So FAFSA reports are the other thing that we're going to talk about, and we will do kind of a deeper dive later on this year talking about these. But each of your school districts will, or each of your high schools, sorry, will have something called a local access manager or a LAM. That may already be identified, or it may be you and you don't realize it yet. But we request that information closer to November, December timeframe, so we can start gathering the data that we need in order to know who to be sending things out to. We create reports, and each report will show the completion status for each of the seniors at that specific high school. The reports will also indicate any FAFSA corrections needed by students or parent contributors. And this also will help counselors in school assist students through the FAFSA completion process. It just gives you a lot of information that you can provide. One of the main reasons we do this FAFSA completion is because we know that the top indicator to determine whether or not a student may actually attend and step foot on a school campus is that completion of the FAFSA, because really we know that the only way for them to be able to go to college is to be able to afford college. And the best way to be able to afford that is by completing the FAFSA. So our most recent data shows that 84% of seniors who actually completed a FAFSA ended up proceeding directly to college. There was no gap year, there was no hesitation. So 84% of those that did complete the FAFSA, which is why we encourage that FAFSA completion goal. And we really push for you to get as many of your students that plan on attending college to complete that as possible. For our FAFSA report, some of the commonly asked questions: only the local access manager can receive the weekly reports. If that is not you, we can tell you who your local access manager is at your school, and you can communicate with them on whether or not you need access or resources to that. The LAM can distribute the reports to any authorized personnel at that school that needs it or is working with FAFSA completion with students and families. And then the weekly emails include a FAFSA report PDF, an Excel spreadsheet that gives a little bit more detailed information about that PDF and about the completions, and then links to the Google Drive in which all of these components are included. This is what your PDF will look like, and this shows just the number of completed and what percent that is, the number of not completed, and the number of not filed. The difference between your not completed and your not filed is that your not completed may have started the application, but they might have some areas in which they need to do corrections, or they haven't completed all of the steps, or maybe their contributor hasn't signed yet. The not filed is someone that has not clicked the submit button at all. So that is something to take a look at, and it helps you have that meaningful conversation with specific students and specific families that need that conversation. For those not completed, this is a little bit more detailed explanation of what that might look like for students to have to fill that out. And you can see it identifies who is the necessary party that you need to communicate with, as well as what is needed. So you can really have that intentional conversation. Here is the Excel spreadsheet that is provided to you, or the Google spreadsheet, whatever you use. You'll see that it gives a little bit more detailed information. The part that is blacked out off to the left-hand side is your student names and student state IDs. So you'll be able to go across that line and determine what their current FAFSA status is and what might be necessary. You also can see that you have a submitted date and a process date available, so you know when those things took place. There's also a part there, and it is much less than what it used to be, because we know that the FAFSA was supposed to improve upon this part, but any students that may have been selected for verification and what's necessary for that. Here's what your Google Drive will look like. And if you are not a Google school and need assistance with all of that, just let us know and we can try to assist you in that process of receiving those documents. So how to utilize the reports. This is the way a lot of others have utilized this. So target specific students, like we talked about, like inviting them to your FAFSA events or specific types of events that you are hosting. Reach out to them consistently. Maybe you have specific emails that you're sending out to families and students that will help in specific areas. Make individual appointments with these folks. Notify students of missing information and corrections that might be needed on those FAFSAs, making sure to be very specific and intentional on what that conversation is. And if they need help finding out or figuring out what they need to go do, host those individual appointments. Assist through the verification process. That can be a difficult process sometimes if they are pulled for verification, so help them through that. Celebrate any completed students, and hopefully our swag will assist in that. And then report students that have completed but still appear on your list and need to be moved over to the completion area. Notify parents of students' completion status so that they're aware of where their student is. Set school-wide completion goals with us, and support students or connect students to resources like ICANN, virtual coaching programs, and the financial aid office of which they are attending if need be. The FAFSA dashboard is available through the Iowa College Aid website. I can give you this link. It is not, I don't think it's live on the website yet, but we can shoot the link to you to have you look at it. But that gives you your school-wide or school-based FAFSA completion status, so that you can see where you've been in the past years as well as where you are this year. When I say this year, we are still finishing up the previous academic year for FAFSA, so that will still be on there. NCAN also has a FAFSA tracker that is helpful for you to navigate through if our Iowa-based one is not up and running at that specific time. Official trainings on the reports will take place probably in late fall, early winter, right around the time that we get ready to release them, so that those that are lambs will know how to access those resources as well as how to use them. Any questions? Feel free to drop them in the chat if you have some. Now I'm done and I will pass it back over.
Try and find my mouse control again. There we go. Okay, so get back into the ICANN side. So we are going to go through, we have created with ISCA the new School Counselor Guide to Career and College Readiness. And that guide is going to be the foundation of what we talk about today. So to start off, for those of you that aren't familiar with ICANN, we are an education nonprofit here in the state of Iowa. We are not part of the state, and we are not federally funded. We are an independent education nonprofit. Our mission is to empower Iowans to achieve lifelong success through education, training, and informed decision-making. And we are able to do that through a variety of services for students and parents, but also for schools and for counselors like you. So we have success centers across the state. We partner with a variety of colleges and community organizations throughout the state to host our office locations, so that hopefully in most areas of the state, we're not more than a couple hours, or hopefully less than that, from you and your students. But all of our advisors have territories throughout the state. So one of our advisors is assigned to your high school and is the person that will work with you on anything that you need from ICANN. We also offer appointments to students on a variety of topics, and we offer in person, of course, at our centers, but then we also offer virtual appointments using Zoom. So our advising services, we offer all the things that you see there on the screen. We can talk to students at any point in the process. We are most well known for our assistance with the FAFSA come senior year. But we do offer college exploration, career exploration. We'll talk about scholarships. We can help with the CSS profile if you have students that are going to selective colleges that require the CSS profile in addition to the FAFSA. All of that can be done through our advising services. And we do not charge for those services for students and parents. For school counselors, what you really just need to know today is that ICANN is here to help you. We have a lot of ways that we can help you. We have presentations that we'll talk about on a variety of topics. We can do those. We can come to your school, or we can do them virtually, and you invite your seniors or your students and parents to come and attend, and they can ask questions. And we also have videos on our website. We have pre-recorded full-length presentations, and full-length means 45 to 60 minutes on a specific topic. But then we also have short clips on specific topics like academic planning for freshman students, or just the application process, or just the scholarships. So short and sweet. We offer e-alerts and senior tips. So our email services, you can sign up as a counselor. You're automatically signed up to receive counselor notifications, but then you can also sign up your students for grade level alerts and tips of the week. So it's usually Thursday, sometimes it's Friday if it's a busy week. But every Thursday we have an ICANN tip of the week. It's a video tip that talks about a specific topic. And then we also have e-alerts that go out by grade level. The most popular and most email-filled alert is the senior alerts. So for your class of 2025, you could sign them up and they would get tips and email reminders throughout the year of specific deadlines they have for senior year. So it could be, right now, the one that just went out is going to be about the fall test dates for ACT and SAT and the different ways that those tests are used outside of admissions. There'll be ones coming up for the college application campaign. There'll be a lot around FAFSA, a lot around scholarships, things like that. We have a materials library on our website where you can download a variety of calendars, planning guides, worksheets, flyers on lots of different topics. You can also, there's an entire school counselor section of the ICANN website where you can learn all about our resources and programs that are available to school counselors, as well as professional development opportunities. You can also follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram. And there are those links there. We also have our YouTube channel. That's where we host all of our videos. So if you just want to look and see what videos are out there and you don't want to go through our website, you can go straight to our YouTube channel. This is just a brief look at what our YouTube channel looks like. It's full of tips of the week. Every Wednesday, we have a webinar that we record, and those are also hosted. You can see we did a webinar with Danielle's team on the state of Iowa's financial aid application at one point, and so that was on there and recorded as well. So for materials, every spring, counselors are invited to order materials for the following academic year, and we have booklets that we we create in-house, so they are very Iowa specific. And we have guides on transitioning into high school as a freshman. We have our Life After High School Career and College Planning Guide. We have a guide specific to careers in the building trades and registered apprenticeships. And then we have our How to Pay for College Guide to the Financial Aid Process. So those are things that you can order every spring. You can download the PDFs and email those out or share those with your students and families as well throughout the year. And then the last program I want to talk about through ICANN, we offer an ICANN curriculum program for grades 9 through 12. It is a career and college readiness supplemental curriculum. So it can be a standalone career and college readiness program. It can meet all of your needs for a DCAP, except for the career information system part. We don't do the reporting side, but it's a great supplement to your CIS as well. The lessons are designed to integrate career and college readiness concepts into the classroom. It has a flexible design and comes with a full support from the curriculum team here at ICANN. It comes with a nice implementation guide that defines all of the areas of career and college readiness, how the programs and the lessons align with Iowa code requirements around ICAP and DCAP. It does provide a scope and sequence for lessons by grade level, and then it does list out in the back supplemental activities that can further enhance your career and college readiness program. That's just a really showing you all of the different kinds of lessons that are included in that curriculum. So you can see there's a wide variety of topics that are covered. So now transitioning to our main focus for today. This is the guide that we're going to go through, and I believe Carrie's going to pop that into the chat so that you can follow along, or it's always available to download on our website. So this booklet is it's a PDF that is created every year and updated in partnership with the Iowa School Counselor Association. And so we publish it each fall, and it has all of the updated information and outlines your roles and responsibilities of school counselors with regards to all of the different aspects of career and college planning. So the state of Iowa defines career and college readiness as students having achieved proficiency in essential content, acquired practical transition skills, developing key learning skills and cognitive strategies, and having built a strong foundation of self-understanding and engagement. So the Iowa Foundation is the foundation of this resource guide and also ICANN programming, so that we are helping you meet those requirements that the state has said are essential for students. So the different components of career and college readiness, there are aspects that go PK-12, but in high school, you're going to hit all of them. You're going to talk to students about college aspirations. You're going to talk to them about academic planning as it relates to that. You're going to talk to them about enrichment and extracurricular engagement. You're going to talk to them about how to explore college and career and how to pick which one's right for them. You're going to go through different assessments. You're even going to touch on affordability and admissions, and then how to transition successfully from high school to college or career workforce area. The reason that this chart is here is to show you that there are a lot of different aspects that as the counselor, you're going to touch on a lot of different things depending on what kind of pathway the student you're working with has chosen. So there's a lot of different things to consider when you're advising students, and just a lot of different things to reference when you're doing this work. As the counselor, your role is to create early awareness, knowledge, and skills. You're going to help students lay that foundation so that they can have that development that can successfully transition them to college and career readiness. Oftentimes, you are going to be the only individual in your school with an understanding of career theory, process, and practice. If you have a team of counselors, you're lucky because you're going to get to work together to do this. But many times, we know counselors are doing it on their own in their building. So it's helpful to remember that this is not a one-person mission. Just because you're the only person trained in this area doesn't mean you have to do it all by yourself. It's important to build support and inclusion across your building. It's important to have the support of your administration, not just of your role, but in helping spread the understanding of your role and why you're doing the things that you're doing. So if you have to push into a classroom to go over an activity or something with students, your coworkers know why you're doing these things and that they understand the goals of your program as well. You want to work towards having career and college readiness embedded within your curriculum and your program and integrated into, just the daily activities of your school. So it's not just a once or twice a year thing, but students become familiar with and used to like understanding and hearing about all of these different things. So in looking at this resource guide that Carrie has now popped into the chat, the different sections here, Carrie and I are going to go back and forth through the different sections of the booklet and go over all of these things with you. But there's a timeline and checklist. There's a section on academic planning. There's a section on career planning, college search, college admissions, financial aid, financial literacy, and then career and college readiness in action. So the topics and timeline and checklist, everything in the beginning of this booklet is outlined by grade level. And it's just a quick overview of these are the things you should do for each grade throughout the year. So these identify different events and activities that you can have to integrate into your program to help students be successful. And now I'm going to turn it over to Carrie, and she's going to talk about academics.
Thank you. Yes, so I'm going to go through some of those core areas that counselors work with students a lot on, is those academic, the career, and the college planning portion of things. So first up in that academic planning, we're going to look at those district career academic plans, or those DCAPs, graduation requirements, learning experiences, and college credits. These are all areas as that school counselor that you will be working with students on. So first up is that academic planning with those DCAPs and four-year plans. So DCAPs are required for all districts to have. That's the District Career Academic Plan. Those district career academic plans outline all of the career college readiness activities that a student is going to partake in grades 8 through 12. There is required reporting and to report each year on that, on what the district is doing. More than likely, you all as counselors serve in some capacity on that team for that DCAP as the main contact for what probably those high school students are doing around career and college planning. Within that DCAP, every student is required to have then what's called that ICAP, that individual career and academic plan, which you might be more familiar with. You work with those career information systems that are required by the state. For example, your school might be a Zello, you might have Naviance, MAPS, which is the one by Iowa State, or Cooter. And so those are those career information systems, or those CISs that students work in when working on some career and college planning processes. One aspect specifically in that ICAP, DCAP is the four-year plans that all students in 8th grade are required to complete and have signed off by parents. Now, as if you are just a high school specific counselor, you may or may not engage with the 8th graders when doing those four-year plans. It is always a good idea, though, if possible, to get in front of those 8th graders and have those conversations with them, even if it's in a group setting, as you are going to be their counselor in that following year, helping them through these graduation requirements. But those four-year plans are a great opportunity for them to start planning those courses that they need to take throughout high school. And a great way to do that, I know a lot are like, well, 8th graders just cannot decide what they're going to take their senior year. We completely understand that. And nobody is expecting them to have a in-stone plan by any means, but having that option to explore those classes, even giving them a template, if you create templates for those career cluster areas. And if they know, as 8th graders, most 8th graders can say, you know, I want to work in construction, or I want to be a doctor. And they can then look at that specific four-year plan for the construction cluster and the courses they have to offer, and they can use that template to help them when creating those four-year plans. So that is one of the essentials that you will be working with, and having students relook at those four-year plans in some capacity is usually required within that DCAP as well. So always bringing those four-year plans out and looking at them. The great news is with all of these CISs, they have built-in planners that you can use if your district has the ability and has paid for that service with those CISs. So you don't have to track and monitor paper if you don't want. It can be all stored within those CISs. So when they are working on academic planning, it is key to talk to students about their career pathway and asking them what career they want and helping them select courses that align with those career interests to build those skills in those areas for the students as well. It brings in for them not only the content they're going to learn, but it's going to expose them to additional areas for that career, maybe some additional opportunities as well. But it's also important to discuss with them the potential for admissions for colleges, what they require in terms of admission requirements for courses, whether that's a world language class that they need to take sometime in high school, or whether they're going to start planning on taking college credits or those AP classes, depending on what your building has to offer. Already advising them on the importance of doing well in those college classes and those AP classes, as those do start that college transcript right away. And then also to prepare for their career, taking those CTE, those career and tech ed courses like Intro to ACE or Health Sciences or Intro to Computers, and fitting courses that fit into your career pathway for the student. Even courses that they might not think relate, do relate. So a common example I use is a student wants to go into the health sciences field. I was a high school counselor for over 10 years, over 12 years really, and I always recommended students taking Intro to Computers or a work computer-based course if they were going into health sciences. Students always ask me why. Well, I would look at our local community college, which I was in the Kirkwood Community College and the Marshalltown Community College districts. And those requirements were both at both of those colleges. Even four-year schools required you to have some sort of computer class. So I would say, let's take it now. Let's get that credit out of the way for college or even at the high school level. Because nurses, doctors to this day are now working on computers frequently. So it is important for them to work on that. Ooh, that went way far. Then after that, we have the optimum preparation. So again, this is that what optimally should students be taking for college-bound students. And as you can see, this is directly from our region's school, so Iowa, Iowa State, UNI. This is their optimum preparation. This is what they are recommending students to take in terms of your core class areas: English, math, science, social studies, world languages, and how many years of each of those you can have. This is optimum preparation. Doesn't mean it's a have to. It's not a high school graduation requirement. But by completing this optimum preparation, they are best prepared for those college level academics. They are going to then have a better focus, especially in the math and sciences, those fourth years, if they are going into any field of that area. The other reason this optimum preparation is important is because studies show, you can talk to the colleges as well, even your community colleges, that students that take a year off in those areas, especially math, have to more likely take remedial math courses to get their skills up to the level of college readiness. So what that means is almost all of our schools, whether it's, Iowa, Iowa State, UNI, or the community colleges, they might not have to take the ACT for admissions. However, all of those colleges are now requiring students to take the AccuPlacer, which is a free math test that they have to take, but it's a placement test. So it's going to tell students what level of math they can take at the college level. Well, these placement tests might tell them that they don't have the college level math yet, so they have to take a remedial course to get their skills up to that college level. So it shows that research is showing that students that take off just even 1 year of math start to lose those skills and are having to take remedial courses. Remedial courses do not count as college credits for their major or to graduate, but they cost the same as those regular college classes. So they have to pay for those classes and then basically have to take an extra course while in college to get to their major. So then within that academic area is looking at learning experiences for students. Learning experiences are areas where students can get work experience or exposure to careers available to them. This can be by working with the Iowa intermediary networks. Every school in the state of Iowa has an intermediary that works with their local community college. So you can just look at your local community college. If somebody in your building does not know who that contact is, and you can get it right there. I can also drop their website into the chat, and then you can just research it. You can click on it right there, and it will immediately tell you who your intermediary is, or
I
who
got you if you want me to do it,
Thank
Carrie.
you, thank
Yep.
you. Who your intermediary is, and then you can contact them. Those Iowa intermediaries are there to help you set up students on job shadows or internships with the school. Each one, so just you can connect with them and they can help you place students on job shadows and internships. College credits in high school. It's important that you understand your district's policy when it comes to kids taking college credits while in high school. Every student in the state of Iowa legally can take college credits while in high school. However, some high schools have certain applications you have to fill out for it or paperwork for it. And so just make sure you understand the processes for students to take college credit while in high school, even AP classes. If your school is an AP school, just make sure you understand the process or procedures that students need to take those AP courses, as they might have a different process than just those gen ed, general ed, grade level courses for English instead of AP English. So make sure you understand those, and make sure you understand that you communicate with the students that they are taking these upper level, whether it's concurrent enrollment college classes or AP classes. That means more rigor, more challenge than the standard English class or math class or history class for their grade. It's also very important to communicate that with those concurrent enrollment courses, when they take college classes, they start their college GPA. So if they don't do well in that college course, that is on their college GPA, which means that transfers with them wherever they go. If there are any questions, remember, you can always drop them into the chat on any of these sections that we're working with. But we're now going to switch into the career planning section of working with students. So when working with students on career planning, it's important to create meaningful course plans for students to achieve their career and academic goals or career goals. So the way that you can work with students on doing this is through completing assessments to better understand their interests, skills, and values to match to their careers. Your CIS, your computer information system that you have, again, whether that's Naviance, Zello, Cooter, School Links, there's many out there. They all have at least one assessment for your students to take in these interests, skills, and abilities. However, there is a wealth of assessments that they can take. You will see in the packet, the guide that you have, we specifically highlight some of those with my ACT in their plan. So those are other examples that you can utilize for students to take. It is beneficial to take multiple different assessments from different sources, because they might find different results from those different sources and learn something new about themselves. Instead of retaking the same one that's in their computer information system, you can try a different one like my ACT or a Hollins test, and it might produce different results that the students relate to better than some of the other ones maybe in that career information system. And exploring education and training programs required for their career pathway. So students should always pick their career before they pick what education they need to go into, to make sure that it best aligns with the career they want to go into. They might want to go into an apprenticeship and be part of the union for construction. So for them, attending, the University of Iowa or Harvard might not be the best route for them to attend for their career program. There's a better option for them out there. And so helping them navigate, what career do you want? Okay, now let's find that post-secondary program that meets those needs. Again, those assessments that are available to you help students identify their strengths, their interests, their skills, and their abilities. The My ACT Plans one that specifically is in the book talks about work values, it talks about skills, and it does an interest inventory. So there are 3 different interest inventories that students can do in there. We also utilize Career Coach and the Hollins occupational themes. We do have links to these right on our website. We have all the information on there that you can utilize those with students as well, that you can start working with them. Even in the middle school level, if they are not utilizing the CISs, they can use some of these other free assessments that are available to them. Again, when it comes to career planning, talking about all post-high school options. 70% of jobs today require some form of post-high school education and training. They do not require a 4-year bachelor's degree necessarily, but they require some form of education and training. So exposing students to all of the options available to them throughout all routes. You can talk with them about in the health field, for example, if you want to go into the health field, you can say there are options at every education level. You can do a career training program and become a CNA, a certified nurse assistant. You can do a certificate or diploma programs and become dental hygienists or surgical technicians. And associate's degrees are available in the nursing field, as well as then your registered bachelor's of nursing degrees, all the way through those doctorate programs for students. So exposing students to the level of education for all areas of what they are wanting to potentially pursue. Providing that hands-on training as well. This is where those job shadows, those internships come into place for students, that they can start looking at some of those skills needed for them to help them plan what they want to do and confirm that they want to do those careers. I've worked with students that said they really wanted to go into the medical field, and then they learned that they were going to have to draw blood all day, and they decided, I don't want to poke people and look at blood all day. I like the aspect of helping people. I don't like the aspect of drawing blood or working with bones popping out of bodies because they're coming in with a broken arm. So having students get those hands-on, those learning experiences really helps them confirm if they want that type of career or not. Registered apprenticeships. This is a big thing around high schools in Iowa as well. There are high schools that are having registered apprenticeships or work-based learning opportunities right within their walls of their high school, or even partnering up with local businesses to offer these. So apprenticeships are where they are combining job training with structured learning. So you can potentially have students being in a pre-apprenticeship type thing in high school. But once they get out of high school, they can also enter into apprenticeship programs at no cost to them usually, and they are getting a salary right away once they graduate, once they're in that apprenticeship. After high school, they can be getting a salary right away in the classroom and while working alongside those career professionals, tradesmen in the area of their work. So we do highlight those apprenticeship opportunities for students, as that is a very viable and realistic opportunity for many students around. We get, again, those job shadows and internships is a great way for them to get those hands-on, and Danielle did drop that link for the Iowa intermediaries in the chat, so you can look up your direct contact if you don't already know it. But beyond that, it's also important to encourage students to get involved in and outside of high school, outside of academics. So joining extracurricular activities, whether that's the clubs at the high school or the sports at the high school, to help meet their career interests. So they are really interested in performing arts, encouraging them to join the speech or the drama or the musicals that are there at the high school. If they're interested in art club, joining your art club, even joining community theaters or any extracurricular outside of school community involvement to help students get those hands-on learning and experiences. If they're interested in becoming a vet or working with animals, having them volunteer at their local humane society or rescue to have them already get some of those skills, or the local vet can get them some of those hours as well. One field that's very important to do this is that medical field. Depending on the program they're wanting to go into, many programs will want to see students, even in high school, having that experiences within the medical field, even if it's just volunteering, because we know that many kids in high school can't necessarily work in a hospital as a professional, but they can work in a hospital as a volunteer, or even in the triage, kind of in those front desk positions. They want to see those experiences already on student resumes when they are getting into applying for colleges or their programs. So now looking into the college portion of your role with students and looking at how to help students with college searching, working with admissions reps, and then those visits to campuses and colleges. So when helping students look for colleges, it really is what is college and defining their options. Again, college can be a variety of things for students. It doesn't just mean that traditional 4-year college campus that we're used to. We have a lot of different types of institutions now. There are online programs that students can partake in. Looking for finding programs to help students with making sure it has the program or the major that they are interested in and wanting to attend. You know, they might really, really love the Hawkeyes and so want to attend the University of Iowa because they love going to the Iowa football games with their families. But Iowa might not have the program that they want to pursue. And so it's important to have those conversations with them about how you might be attending a college that doesn't have your program and what that means for their future career options. And helping students work through some of those options with them. Admissions representatives. You are going to have admissions representatives want to come to your school that are going to want to come and talk to your students. They might be just a 20-minute visit, or they might want to come and do a whole class presentation. You can choose, or if you have a school policy on how you work with high school or with admissions representatives, for them to come into your building. But advertising these with your students so that they can come and talk to admissions representatives at the colleges that they might be interested in attending. This is sometimes the first opportunity that students get to talk to those college admissions reps and maybe even open the doors to a college that they didn't even think about. Just a quick side note, I'm not from Iowa, but I live in Iowa now. I came to Coe College, I'm from Minnesota, because a representative from Coe came to my high school. I just went on a whim, and after talking to that admissions representative, I decided that I needed to look more into that college. So those are sometimes just opening up doors for students that didn't even think twice about that college, might open those doors. One tool you might utilize or that in your building is called Rep Visits, REP Visits. And this is an online service that many school counselors have been using over the past. And it's an online website where you can create a profile and colleges can set up a time to visit right through that profile. You publish when you want them to come and they can pick that time and sign right up. That is an option for you. Otherwise, they usually call you and say, can I come on this date at this time? And you can decide if that works for you or not. Many times now, campuses also have the ability to do Zoom chats with students. So for example, the University of Northern Iowa, they have the option to have quick Calendly meetings with students that students can sign up to or have a Calendly meeting with a student. So those are many options available to students as well when working with them. Campus visits and college fairs, another great way to get kids exposure to colleges. College fairs, ICANN hosts 2 of the largest college fairs in the state. We host the Golden Circle Fair, which is just in 2 Sundays from now. Is that the 24th? Yes, that's a Sunday the 24th, I do believe. Nope, it's not the 24th. What is that Sunday? 22nd. It's the 22nd. See, I don't know my dates. Yes, Sunday, September 22nd. That one is held in Altoona at Prairie Meadows, technically, that you can have students come to and parents. It's a Sunday. We also hold in the spring the Future Ready Fair, and that is held at Kirkwood Community College, around really the Kirkwood Hotel in March. So those are our 2 biggest ones. We actually do host a military career fair as well. That's in October. And so that is held at Kirkwood Lynn Regional Center in Cedar Rapids or Hiawatha. So students can attend all of those as well. Campus visits. Encouraging students to attend a campus visit, whether they do that with their families or better yet, go on a field trip with students. Offer a rotation of campus visits for your students to attend, maybe do a couple a year where they can come and with you on a field trip to do a campus visit. This is the great group visit way for students to get their foot on campus, for them to see what it's like to tour that campus, and for them to meet with maybe some students, financial aid, or admissions representatives. So some great opportunities to encourage students to get out there and look at campuses. Campus visits are usually the #1 determiner for students to know if they really want to attend that college or not. So it is important to encourage students to get their foot on campus and look at campus in more than maybe just the athletic facility. They might attend, Iowa State games or UNI games with their parents, or volleyball, football, basketball, or Drake games as well, but they might not have ever toured the academic portion of that campus. So it is important for them to visit that academic portion of campus and those dorms, because once they get on campus, they can start feeling if they fit in that campus, if they can imagine and see their life on this campus for the next 2 to 4 years, depending on how long they go to college for their program. So the admissions process, working through that with students. Sometimes this will be the first time that they will have no idea what they need to do, when they need to do it, and how they need to do it. So really walking through students every step of the way and providing them a step-by-step guide to do that. We have amazing calendars that I will drop into the chat as well that walk you through month by month what students should do. They're great calendars for students to have to help them on their career and college visits or process as well. But one of the first things to understand is that Regent Admission Index, that RAI score. This is what our 3 state schools, Iowa, Iowa State, UNI, utilize for the purposes of admissions. So students have a ACT or SAT score, their GPA, and the number of core classes they've completed. It is a mathematical calculation, so they can put in their results and it computes a number. If that number comes out as 245 or higher, they are ready to be admitted into that university. Now, if they do not have an ACT score, they cannot go through this automatic admission process, but that's okay. They can go through an individual review process for admissions, and so that just will take a little longer. But for many students, it is helpful to understand this RAI calculation, as it shows if they are admissible into those 4-year institutions or not. Standardized tests. It's important to promote and advertise ACT or SAT dates, even if your school is not a test site, but advertising where they are, what dates they are, will help students. Even though colleges now are test optional for the purposes of admissions, it is still important to encourage students to take those standardized tests like the ACT or SAT, because there are many scholarships at those universities that are still attached to having an ACT or an SAT score. So it does no harm for the purposes of admissions. They will be admitted with or without an ACT or SAT score. However, it might come into play and impact them in their ability to reach their full potential in scholarship-free money. So it's always important to still encourage students to take those tests and try their best on them. Students might have to create essays or utilize resumes. So helping students create those activities resumes, giving them a template for those resumes. And again, we have these resources right on our website in our resource library that students can utilize for all of that as well. You might be asked to write letters of recommendations. You need to have a policy in place for if you're going to write letters of recommendations, how you're going to write them, how much time you need to write those letters of recommendations for anybody in the building, and have a building-wide standard policy that, you need to ask the teachers 2 weeks in advance in order for them to write you one. You need to, think about, are you going to write a letter of recommendation for every student, or is it the first 10 students that ask you, having some of those guidelines in place as well. And even helping students navigate admissions or scholarship interviews, and helping them even practice those or what to expect during those interview processes as well. Transcripts. In your buildings, you may be responsible for submitting or sending out student transcripts. If you have a registrar in your district, they might be the ones responsible for that. But it's important to post what your process is for those transcripts in the timeline. If it's not you that processes those, make sure you still post the process and who they contact and are well aware of that transcript process. Some schools have a policy in place that it takes a week for them to get processed, so they need to give a week notice. Some schools process transcripts the second that students ask them. So it's just important to understand and know what is your process in your building for how students can request their transcripts to be submitted to colleges for admissions or even to scholarship committees as well. So having those policies in place and publicizing those policies is very important for you to help with students. And then even helping students with the transition to college, talking to students about those seniors, what they can do to ensure that they don't have any, summer melt, talking to them about their orientation, did they register, following up with them with their registration process, providing them some resources, some next steps that they can do to ensure that they are continually on the process for college and making sure that they succeed in where they're going next. College athletics. If you have students that plan to play athletics in college, which many schools have many athletes that do that, it is important that you understand the different processes. NCAA and NAIA rules are different. NCAA, students do have to register, and it is advised that they register starting even their sophomore year if they are planning on and really being recruited by D1 schools. There are certain grades or classes students must take for NCAA. You have a list of approved courses within your district or in your building that they can take with the NCAA. So, making sure you understand and know the processes and procedures for those to help those students navigate that process as well. You'll have to have accounts with those athletic associations as well. The counselor there probably already, has one. If you are taking over a position, you might just have to work with the principals and to get those accesses as well. Now the financial aid piece, working with students on financial aid, talking through them with that process on what is financial aid and how to get financial aid. So these sections outline financial aid process and the basics of it. Now, in Iowa, we do have a requirement that all students do need to have advisement on the FAFSA. So really helping students understand what financial aid is, what that free money is, those grants and scholarships, and what is that self-help aid with those loans and work studies as well. And then helping them apply for financial aid. We do not have in the state of Iowa requirement by law. We do not have to have them fill out for graduations, but we do have to have advisement for them. But helping them to understand the importance of the FAFSA and the timeline for it. Now, normally, the FAFSA comes out October 1 of a kid's senior year. This year, for the second year, it has been delayed. This year, it's going to come out December 1. Due to changes that were put into place this year for that 24-25 FAFSA. They are going to delay this next season just to ensure that it's a smoother process and all the bugs and kinks are worked out of that new application and that new code. So starting December this year for your seniors, they will be able to start filling out the FAFSA. But before then, you can help promote the FAFSA. You can help send out communications or even hold events where students can sign up or create their studentaid.gov accounts, hosting those events where students and parents can create those accounts. So when December 1 rolls around, they are ready to go and ready to have the FAFSA filed. Those accounts do have to be verified by the SSA, the Social Security Administration, since their Social Security numbers are used. That verification process can take 3 to 5 days. If they do not have their account verified, they cannot get access to the FAFSA. So really helping students understand that let's get this done before Thanksgiving, before we leave for Thanksgiving break, to ensure that when they come back from Thanksgiving, they're ready to go. And whether you have an event scheduled in December with us or you're doing one on your own, they are ready to go to get that FAFSA filed and done. And so really promoting that. On our website, we do have why file the FAFSA sheets that you can help pass out to students. Like that's been mentioned, we have what to bring flyers and sheets that you can pass out. That explains every item that a student and parent will need in order to successfully fill out the FAFSA. So we have a lot of those resources available to you right on our website that we can definitely drop in the chat, those direct links as well. We do offer financial aid professional development to counselors. So if you don't understand the financial aid piece or want more knowledge on it or how to help students fill out the FAFSA, we offer a financial aid professional development series for the FAFSA, a step-by-step process. And so you can tap into this professional development if you would like. We do have a training in September, which we can provide the link where to look for that, and then have direct knowledge of that FAFSA and how to fill it out. It is a great training to attend to ensure that you understand what the FAFSA is, especially when working with those seniors and their families. We can also, or you can also hold financial aid seminars for your students and families, whether that's in the community or school-based sessions where students can and families can sit down and work with us, or they can be on the computer filling it out, watching a step-by-step on-demand virtual live event as well. So many ways to help your families successfully complete that FAFSA. We do help families on a regular basis complete the FAFSA. They can make appointments with us in our offices individually to help them. We do virtual appointments and in-person appointments right in our offices for students. But you can also host events right at your school. Your ICANN advisor, if you don't know who that is, you can let us know and we can look that up for you to let you know who your ICANN advisor is. But every school in the state of Iowa has an ICANN advisor. We can come out directly to your school and you can host an event for a whole day, few hours in a day, where you can then have your families come right to your high school and we can be there to help them fill out that FAFSA. Like I said, we do also offer virtual once the FAFSA is released. Once a month, we do virtual on a Wednesday, a step-by-step application where students and families can join and they can follow along on the screen. And by the end of that step-by-step video or webinar, they have their FAFSA completed. The other aspect of financial aid is scholarships. So helping students know the scholarships available to them. Outlining the resources that are in your high school. Most high schools do have and offer local scholarships that are available just to their senior class. So helping students navigate that process. What is that process? Where do they find those applications? How do they apply for those scholarships? When do they need to submit those scholarships by? And how are they informed if they've won? But also notifying them and sharing with them scholarships that are available throughout their community and the state. We do not offer scholarships at ICANN, but we have a database where we maintain all of the scholarships throughout the state of Iowa. We gather resources there. You can share those types of resources for students that might be eligible for some of those scholarships. But also advertising their college scholarships. So encouraging students, if they know that they are going to attend Wartburg College, having them go to Wartburg and seeing if there's a scholarship application that they need to complete and when they need to complete that by, or even whatever colleges they're looking at completing. So helping them through that scholarship process and providing those steps for them as well. All right, with that, are there any questions on the academic, the career, the college, or the financial aid portions of working with students? Okay, well then I'm going to turn it back over to my colleague Britt and she will finish it off and I will drop some of those resources in the chat.
Thanks, Carrie. So the next section is on financial literacy. And this is a component that has changed a bit in Iowa code, but there still are some basic financial literacy requirements for your students. A great resource is the Iowa Jumpstart Coalition. They provide a clearinghouse database of personal finance resources, and many of them are free or low cost. We also focus on financial literacy throughout the year. We have a segment of financial literacy curriculum lessons. If you choose to implement our curriculum, that comes with that. But then we also, April is Financial Literacy Month. So during April, we do a few sessions through our Wednesday webinars on credit and money management for students and, just basic good money practices for students and parents to understand. Those are recorded and available on our website or on our YouTube channel. If you want to tackle financial literacy before April with students and you want to review some of the things that we have out there, you can also look in our material library on our website and download some great worksheets to do budgeting activities and things with students as well. Moving to the career and college readiness and action section of the guide. So this section really just goes through and describes different ideas on activities you can do throughout the school year to engage students outside of the classroom and celebrate the moments that they're experiencing or highlight different aspects or different steps of the process. It also provides opportunities to help students explore different things. So career days, having career speakers come in, or using Zoom to invite professionals into the classroom to talk to students about a variety of careers, or attending career fairs so that students can be exposed to a variety of careers that maybe they don't know exist yet, and then helping them link those experiences to their assessments. A great way to kind of tackle career speakers without students getting bored about who they're listening to or making every student listen to everyone is to look at students' assessment results and group them by cluster. So if you have a handful of students that all ended up in the construction cluster, maybe they hear career speakers from the building trades, whereas students that maybe ended up in the health or human services cluster, maybe you have them listen to dentist or a nurse or something like that. So you can kind of tailor those experiences based on their assessments. Participation in the college application campaign. This application campaign is a national event, takes place in October, and is a great way to help students fill out those admission applications by having a focus on it during a week in October. Again, FAFSA completion events. Carrie talked a lot about this during financial aid, and Danielle mentioned that this is the #1 key indicator of post-enrollment or post-secondary enrollment is students completing that FAFSA. So having a FAFSA completion event, it satisfies your FAFSA advising requirement. It ensures that beyond advisement, your seniors and their parents or their family members are getting professional help and really getting the right information submitted. So hosting a FAFSA completion event is a great event to have as part of your career and college readiness program. Award letter review. Some students will apply to a lot of different colleges. Some know exactly where they want to go. Some will apply to a couple, and then you'll have some that they take up all 20 spots on that FAFSA, and they really have a lot of comparing and considering to do when those financial aid offers come in. So having some sort of event or series of meetings and events in the spring where students can sit down with someone and compare those offers and really understand what is coming from each school. ICANN does that. Our advisors know how to compare those offers and talk to students and families about what their options are. So we could definitely be part of those activities if that was something that you wanted to organize. Celebrating their decisions or their signing days. That is a really great way to promote not only celebrating your seniors, but promoting to underclassmen. They can see those decisions being celebrated, and it gives them ideas of where their older peers are going and where they might be able to go. Alumni Day, this is something that I've seen schools do. It's actually at the end of first semester. So college students tend to come home a week or a week and a half before K-12 gets out for a winter break. So inviting back some of your recent graduates and having them do a panel discussion with your current students about how they made decisions, what they're up to now. We know that students relate to their peers better than sometimes they relate to us as adults telling them or giving them advice. So that Alumni Day can really help students who don't really know what they want to do, or just gives them that opportunity to ask questions of people nearer to their age. Graduation walk, everyone is familiar with this because it floods social media every May. But having your seniors go back to their elementary schools and walk, a lot of times in cap and gown, maybe with a sign that says where they're going. It's a great activity that really brings your entire district together because you're connecting your youngest students with your graduating seniors. The seniors get emotional going back to their elementaries, seeing some of their teachers, and the little kids feel really special getting to see the big kids come and visit them. So it's a really great connection activity that can draw your district together. Carrie mentioned our fairs, Golden Circle College Fair. She mentioned our FAFSA Ready Iowa program. These are all things that you can take part in to bring your career and college readiness program to new heights. And we've already talked about our ICANN presentations and our Wednesday webinars. The very back of the booklet is your appendix of resources. You're going to have 4 different charts of information back here. And this is a really great quick reference guide. So every Iowa post-secondary institution is listed, their contact information, their website, their current tuition and fees, their current housing and food prices are all in there. Their priority date for financial aid is listed. Although please, this year we printed before we knew the FAFSA was delayed, so a couple of them have changed. Check our website. There is also a chart in there that lists all of the building trades registered apprenticeship programs in the state of Iowa through the Central Iowa Trades and the Cedar Rapids Iowa City Trades Council, and then there are some also from the Quad Cities. So that lists the primary training programs in the state of Iowa for all of those building and trades registered apprenticeship programs. There's contact information in there. There's current wage information. So students you have access to your contacts. If you have a student who wants to learn more, it's right there at your fingertips. Then there are also two charts in there, one that goes over the federal loan programs, current interest rates, rules, regulations, all that good stuff. And then a chart on the different types of financial aid that don't have to be paid back. So you can reference those when you're working with seniors and really familiarize yourself with all of those different resources for students. Another really great thing to do to kind of help your students and your families navigate this process through your district specific timelines and processes is have a career and college readiness segment of your website. If you have a counseling website, there should be a section about career and college readiness. It should outline your local scholarships. It should outline the financial aid process so that there's a quick glance for parents. You can link things here. You could link to our financial aid information if you want to from our website. If you do specific career pathways or four-year plans by cluster and you have those designed for your district, link them from your website so that parents and students can reference those and see what their options are. Keep a running and updated list of any district or community career and college readiness activities that are happening. Maybe ones, yes, that you're taking the kids to or that are happening in the building, but definitely ones that you want to encourage your families to take their students to. So college fairs, when college reps are coming to visit your schools, if you're having ICANN in, if there's career fairs, campus visit opportunities, FAFSA events, guest speakers, promote that through your website and then share that out on social media. Also put in your transcript request process. Carrie talked about the importance of having your process right out in front and open so that students know what the deadlines are. They know how much time it's going to take to get that in, and they don't wait until the last minute, or we hope they don't wait until the last minute. So have your transcript request out on your website. Promote those test dates for PSAT, ACT, SAT placement tests that might be happening so that it's really easy and accessible for families. And then in addition to that, anything that you want to continue out there, online videos, PDF resources, links to different websites that families and students would find helpful. I know a lot of times we'll work with schools that they will post a recording of our virtual presentations. They'll post the link to the recording on their website so that parents visiting that site can just watch it whenever they want to. So those are all great things to have easily accessible. So a lot of times you can say, hey, that information is on our counseling website. Here's the link. And there's a lot more stuff that you can find there. And then personalize it. If you want to have a district, if you have a district or a counseling blog, or you're doing newsletter or parent information section, links to your social media, if you do social media, all of that would be on there. Decision Day is a great thing to celebrate online. I know schools that sometimes they'll do an Instagram reel, and so they'll do an Instagram post for each of their seniors celebrating where they're going. You could also have rotating features on your site depending on how, start with the first slide of building your site, and then from there you can continue to personalize it and add additional resources and things from there. If you are allowed as a district to have a social media page, that's a great way to connect. You're going to want to engage students and parents probably on different platforms. Your parents are going to be more likely on Facebook, and your students are going to be on Instagram, or I don't know if you might be able to use TikTok, maybe not. Some districts don't allow that. But definitely Instagram tends to be where more students are these days. Twitter or X is kind of floating between parents and students, but having those different avenues, they do work really well together. Facebook owns Instagram, so you can schedule posts at the same time for both of them, and they'll go out. But use social media for yourself as well. Follow organizations and then report out. Let them do the research for you. If you're following ICANN and you see us post something, you can share it out. we're going to bring that information right to you. If you're following the Department of Education or community organizations, scholarships, things like that, you can then share out that information with your families and encourage them to follow you. This is also where you can share videos. You can utilize, parents still love email, so email updates are always good as well. And then ISL Education Lending is a great partner in the career and college readiness realm in the state of Iowa, and they offer a lot of community give back programs. And one of them is called Student Planning Pointers for Parents, or SP3. This is a free email service for parents for students in grades 8 through 12. As a counselor, you can sign up for this, and you'll get 2 emails a month per grade level. And you can send those to parents, or you can encourage your parents to sign up. But the cool thing for parents and students who are part of this program is they're getting relevant emails, updating them throughout the year on things that they need to know, but they're also entered into a drawing for deposits into a college savings plan. So, and they can win more than once. So every quarter they draw 40 winners from their subscriber list, and they deposit $250 into their 529 plan. So it's, again, you're saving for college, you're getting great information for planning. It's all really helpful. ISL Education Lending also does scholarships for seniors, and this is the first scholarship of the year that's open. It opened yesterday, and so they will give away 45 $1,000 college savings plan deposits at the end by the end of December, and then they'll open up another round in the spring. So this is the first scholarship you can start promoting to your seniors. And again, they don't have to write an essay or anything. They just have to go through this form online and learn a little bit, and then they get entered. Think we're all gonna tag team this a little bit. At one point or another, all 3 of us, Danielle and I, currently serve on the ISCA board as ad hoc members, and Carrie was a former vice president of secondary. But I'm gonna turn it over to Danielle, who's gonna talk a little bit about ISCA, and then we'll kind of fill in the gaps if there's anything that
wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, I was also a school counselor for many years, just like Carrie had mentioned too. So this is all stuff that we have lived for years and years and years. So we're excited to be talking to you about ISCA as well, since we all kind of live in that world still as well. I'm trying to click through this. I'm sorry. Okay, there. So ISCA resources and tools that are available to you through their website and through gaining membership. Your webinar series are available for resources that might be talked about within different components of the counseling fields. Newsletters and email updates are really good availability for different things that are happening within the state, maybe also things that are happening nationally that may impact Iowa counselors, or things that Iowa counselors can be a part of. Sorry. There are resource pages available on the website to access, with many tools that might be available for you to use within your program field. One of the most valuable pieces that I think a lot of people like is the listserv, being able to communicate back and forth with other counselors throughout the state to ask different questions to everyone about things that they maybe are experiencing within their program and need some guidance from someone that has actually done something similar to what they're using, or maybe having some conflict with things that they might need more information on. So using each other as resources is very helpful, and you get that opportunity through that listserv. Evaluation supplements are available for to access that will help with the evaluation tool, since we all know that counselors, while we are noted as teachers, we would like to be evaluated as counselors, because we do completely different work than our teaching cohorts do. So evaluation supplement materials are available, and you can use those to provide to your administration to help with that evaluation process. Legislative advocacy. ISCA works very, very hard to advocate for counselors in the state, trying to make and push through movements that may have affected the programming and the processes of which you are experiencing on a daily basis. So really somebody that is fighting for you and your position and making sure that you have all the resources and the governance available to you that will help you do your job the way that you need to do your job. One of the opportunities that is available for you through that is that Visit the Hill in February. It's sometimes we don't have very great weather for it, but it is a great opportunity to get to the Capitol and really support others in advocating for your position and for all counselors across the state. This also, being a part of this program, also provides you a discount at annual conference, which happens, oh my goodness, I don't know, is that in March?
November.
November. Okay, sorry. Thank you. So keep in mind those are available to you through the registration process. We do have ISCA conference coming up, and that will be in November from the 3rd through the 5th. So Iowa Event Center is taking place, or it'll take place at the Iowa Event Center in Des Moines. More information can be found on that website there. They just came out today with, I think, a lot of the sessions that are going to be available and a lot of the speakers. So if you are interested in this, I think ISCA is a great way to network with a lot of people. One of the other great opportunities is, especially when you're a new counselor in the field, the tabling opportunities to speak to other programs that could benefit you. ICANN's there, Iowa College Aid's there. We're there to give you products and materials, talk to you about different things that we have available, but also other great options available as well. So make sure that you look into that conference. Very reasonable price to get a lot of very valuable content for your program. The ASCA resources available, again, some of these things are co-linked with our ISCA program, but more webinars and national leaders, experts are available through the ASCA resources. Email updates through that program as well. And ASCA is a different resource that is another paid opportunity for those that are maybe still going through your programming. There is a discounted rate for current college students, so that is a nice opportunity for this program. Email updates through the ASCA resources. School Counselor magazine comes to you. Different groups, the affinity group, which there is a link there that we can share with you guys. The national model for opportunity to apply for the RAMP program, which is one of the awards provided to school districts that have optimal counseling programs. So the national model is listed there, and an opportunity for you to be able to fill out that content and submit. ASCA position statements, ASCA U, so training materials that are available, which would be from, opportunities to receive relicensure credit, license renewal credit if need be. And one of the nice things that is provided through the ASCA resources is that liability insurance. Something that is helpful for us as school counselors is to have some sort of insurance in place in case we need that. So there is a liability insurance involved or included with your membership with ASCA. Also listserv, again, discussion board. The professional development opportunities. So the Department of Education offers a career and college readiness academy, which is ongoing continuously. Midwest School Mental Health Conference is available. We've had a lot of people that are choosing to go to that, find it very valuable content. It depends on the material that you are looking for. So make sure you look into all of these conferences. And if you are limited in your availability to attend conferences, feel free to reach out to us and ask us about, value for what your program looks like. But look at all of them, determine what is best fit for you. The Iowa Best Summit is with the Scallon Center for School Mental Health. And so that is also going to focus on that school mental health program offered September 15th through the 16th. So coming up very, very soon. The National School Counselor Leadership Conference in San Diego in February. Iowa ACAC conference is the opportunity to coordinate with some of the people that Britt was talking about and Carrie were talking about earlier with the college application or college admissions councils, and being able to communicate with them, see what resources they have available through each of the college opportunities. And that has really grown over the last couple of years to include our high school counselors and our CCTCs, because we recognize that there is kind of that fluid process in that college attainment that is necessary for all of us to get together. And then the ASCA annual conference is in July at Long Beach, California. So you want to attend that, right? Long Beach, California in July. That might be a little warm, but still really great opportunity. So consider those professional development opportunities. If you end up going for the RAMP award, you have to go accept it at the annual conference. So that might be a good caveat, a good way to get into that there. So if I need, I will go ahead and is there anything else to add to that? Go ahead. Perfect. Go ahead.
No, those are all great conferences. Other resources that you guys can use are here on the screen. Hatching Results has been really popular with the Iowa counselors. That's Trish Hatch, and lots of great school counseling best practices. She's come and been keynote a couple of times at the ISCA conference. But all of these organizations have great resources to answer questions that you might have during your day-to-day work, when you're planning for your license renewal credits. There are some loan forgiveness programs under public service loan forgiveness. So that might be something that, if that's something you want to look into, working as a school counselor, that is public service. So that might be a program that applies to you. Some additional resources, again, the AEAs. We know that the AEAs are currently in flux and things are changing, but they are still a resource. They all have a counselor advocate. So depending on which AEA you are located in, find out who your counselor advocate is. A lot of them are do newsletters and things like that. So make sure you're on their list. They have AEA prep for post-secondary readiness. They have some professional development opportunities. They have the Learning Online has license renewal options. So be in touch with your AEA, know who your counselor advocate is, so that you can be up to speed on all of the great things that they are offering. And then just the last resource we want to share, College Board actually has a really great counseling resource section of their website with professional learning and advising tools and downloadable resources. So you'll be overwhelmed with the number of resources that we've provided for you today, but they are all great. They're, you're going to learn that every situation you're going to approach it in your own way. And so not every resource is going to be perfect for you, but having all of these available to you, you know that you can kind of sort through those. That's another great thing about the listserv that Danielle mentioned, is that you can ask people, what resource do you find helpful? And they will also point you in a great direction. So, so a lot of things were talked about today. This is recorded and the PowerPoint will be posted on the website, so you can go back through and click all the links that were in the PowerPoint and reflect on everything that we've thrown at you today. But here's some quick links on just some things we've talked about today. Our materials library is really easy to find. If you go to our website, it's always up in the right-hand corner. It just says materials library, but you can also get there by /materials. When you're advising your seniors and wanting to help them with the FAFSA, we have a what to bring document that lists all of the information they need to have before they fill out the FAFSA form, all on one sheet of paper. And the backside explains all of the assets and things like that. So you can find that on what to bring to help them set up those student aid accounts. They will have to go to the federal student aid website to set up the account, but it's a really long, like 25 letter URL. So we have shortened it. icansucceed.org/student aid account is going to teach you all about setting up those accounts and then give you that link to the really long URL we don't want to put on documents. Scholarships, Carrie mentioned that we maintain a scholarship database, so you can get there, just /scholarships. And if you want to help students connect with us, if they need a little bit more advising time, or you want to help them with that FAFSA appointment, you can get them set up with an ICANN advisor near you by going to our website and clicking schedule an appointment, or by just typing in APT. This is our website. So again, like I said, up in the top corner, resource libraries right here. You can always find any of those resources to download. The school counselor section, lots of good stuff in there for you guys. Schedule appointments right here. There's lots of information that you can help your students find through here. So we are always here to help you. Welcome to this wonderful profession. I am not a school counselor. I've never been a school counselor, but I've been working with school counselors for like 17 years now, and you're some of my favorite people. There's so many resources in Iowa that are here to make your role successful with your students. So reach out to your ISCA board members, reach out to ICANN, reach out to Iowa College Aid, and let us know how we can help you have a great year. So that is what we have for you today. If you guys have questions, type them into the chat, and we will have a great afternoon.
Thanks for coming, everybody.